The stars outside the viewport of the Odyssey streaked by like silver rivers. Captain Elias Hart leaned forward, eyes fixed on the glowing path ahead. This was humanity's first attempt at a long-range diplomatic mission to make contact with an alien civilization rumored to exist in the Luminara star system. Elias had trained for years for this moment, yet his heart raced as he approached the unknown. "Captain, the sensors are picking up a massive energy signature near the planet's orbit," said Lieutenant Mara, his co-pilot, her voice calm but tense. "It looks artificial." Elias frowned. The readings were unlike anything humans had encountered before. A network of glowing structures floated near the planet, reflecting light like thousands of tiny suns. The scale of the alien civilization was overwhelming. "Keep us steady, Mara," Elias said. "Let's make a slow approach. We don't want to startle them." As the ship descended, the atmosphere of Luminara revealed itself in breathtaking detail. The sky shimmered with colors unfamiliar to human eyes, streaked with bands of luminous clouds. Towering crystalline spires rose from the surface, each glowing softly, casting reflections across the planet like a living kaleidoscope. Elias's breath caught. "It's beautiful," he whispered. "Beautiful and heavily restricted." Mara replied, scanning the ship's sensors nervously. "Captain, we are approaching what seems to be a no-fly zone. The readings indicate defense protocols." Elias nodded, though unease settled in his chest. Humanity had not yet been welcomed here. Every instinct screamed caution, but curiosity burned stronger. "I know," he said. "Prepare the communication systems. If they detect us, we need to explain we come in peace." Seconds later, alarms blared. A force field shimmered around the ship as alien ships emerged from the glowing structures. Sleek and silver, their forms were unlike any human design, more organic than mechanical, moving with a fluid precision that seemed alive. "Shields up!" Elias shouted, gripping the controls. The alien vessels surrounded the Odyssey, their energy weapons charged but not fired. A voice echoed in his mind, or at least it felt like a voice. Alien, melodic, and commanding. Elias realized it was not sound in the air, but a form of direct communication. "Human, why are you here?" Elias swallowed, trying to remain calm. "We come in peace," he transmitted, using the Universal Translator Protocol. "I am Captain Elias Hart, representing humanity. We wish only to observe and communicate." The silence that followed was thick. Then, one of the ships detached and descended rapidly, carrying a single figure. The ship landed lightly, almost like it floated, and the figure emerged. Elias's eyes widened. Before him stood a being of regal presence. Her form was taller than an average human, slender yet strong. Her skin shimmered with a soft, luminescent hue, reflecting the colors of the planet's sky. Eyes large and expressive, golden with flecks of light, focused intently on him. She wore an elaborate robe of flowing energy threads that moved as if alive. This was the Queen of Luminara, Serafina. "You have entered forbidden space," she said, her voice resonating both in the air and directly within Elias's mind. Anger tinged her words. "Do you know what you risk?" Elias raised his hands slowly, careful not to make sudden movements. "Your Highness, I did not intend to violate your space. My mission is peaceful. I come from a distant world called Earth. I mean no harm." The Queen's gaze did not waver. She circled him slowly, each step measured, observing him as if she could see his very thoughts. Elias felt exposed, yet he met her stare. "You are human," she said finally. "I have heard tales of your species. Brave, unpredictable, dangerous. Why should I trust you?" Elias swallowed and thought carefully. "Because humans are curious, because we are capable of understanding, of learning, and because I believe we can share knowledge without harm." For a long moment, Serafina said nothing. Then, with a gesture of her hand, her guards stepped aside. "You will come with me," she commanded, "and there you will answer for your Intrusion. Elias followed, his mind racing. He noticed details everywhere, the crystalline walls of her palace reflecting soft light, the way the air seemed alive with color, the hum of energy that filled the halls. Every corner spoke of intelligence far beyond humanity's current understanding. Yet amid the wonder, Elias could feel her scrutiny, sharp and exacting. Finally, he was brought to a grand chamber. The ceiling stretched high above, adorned with floating crystals that cast delicate lights across the room. Serafina stood before a pedestal that seemed both ceremonial and functional, her presence commanding complete attention. "You will remain here under observation," she said, her tone softening slightly but still strict. "Any attempt to deceive or escape will be met with severe consequences." Elias nodded. "I understand." She regarded him silently for a long moment, her golden eyes piercing, yet curious. Then she spoke again. "Humans, you are unlike any other species I have studied. You are small, fragile, yet you carry a spark that is extraordinary. It frightens me." Elias felt a flicker of hope. Even in her anger, there was recognition. He had a chance to prove himself, to show that humanity's courage and compassion could bridge the gap between worlds. The Queen stepped back, signaling the end of the initial encounter. "You will remain in my presence. We will see if your spark is genuine." As Elias was led to a small chamber for rest, he looked out a window at the glowing city below. The alien capital stretched endlessly, a testament to intelligence and beauty far beyond anything humans had created. And yet, amid all the wonder, he felt a sense of purpose. Humanity had arrived, not to conquer, but to connect. And perhaps if he could survive the Queen's scrutiny, he might show her that humans were capable of more than she imagined. The night on Luminara was alive with lights, the air humming with energy. Elias closed his eyes, feeling the weight of his mission. Tomorrow would be the true test of courage, of understanding, and of the bond that might form between two very different worlds. In the vast silence of the alien palace, the Queen watched him carefully, anger and curiosity entwined. And somewhere deep within, an unfamiliar feeling stirred, a flicker of fascination she had not expected. The stars outside seemed to shine a little brighter, as if witnessing the first steps of a bond that could change the future of two species, forever. The first light of Luminara's twin suns filtered through the crystalline walls of the chamber, casting soft, shifting patterns across the floor. Elias awoke to a strange mix of awe and nervousness. Every detail of the palace seemed alive. The air vibrated faintly with energy, and the walls shimmered in gentle colors. It was a world unlike anything humans had ever seen. He rose carefully, mindful of the Queen's warning. The door to the chamber opened almost silently, and Serafina entered. Her expression was stern, her golden eyes sharp as they focused on him. "Good morning, human," she said, her voice calm but firm. "You have slept well?" Elias nodded. "Yes, Your Highness, thank you for your hospitality." The Queen's lips curved slightly, almost imperceptibly, but her eyes remained cautious. "Do not mistake observation for kindness. Your presence here has caused tension among my council. They question whether your species is safe. I, too, must decide if you are worthy of trust." Elias straightened. "I understand. I only wish to show that humans mean no harm." Serafina studied him, tilting her head. "Your words are easy. Actions, they are harder." She motioned for him to follow. "Come." They walked through vast corridors lined with glowing flora, the floor beneath them smooth yet pulsating faintly with light. Elias noted the intricate designs in the walls, the gentle hum of energy, and the way Serafina moved with absolute grace. Every step seemed deliberate, powerful, and commanding. Finally, they arrived at a large hall. Alien counselors filled the room, their forms as varied as the structures around them. Some had crystalline features, while others seemed almost liquid, in movement, their bodies reflecting light in shifting patterns. The room fell silent as Serafina led Elias to the center. "These are the guardians of Luminara," she said, her voice carrying authority. "They have lived for centuries, protecting our world and guiding our people. They question your arrival. Convince them of your intentions." Elias took a deep breath. The eyes of dozens of beings, each more alien than the last, fell upon him. He felt small, fragile even. Yet he also felt a spark inside him, the spark that had carried humanity across the stars. "My name is Elias Hart," he began, keeping his voice steady. "I am a human, from a planet called Earth. We have traveled far to learn about your world, to understand your people and to share knowledge. I know we are different, but I believe our differences can bring us together, not tear us apart." A murmur ran through the council. Some seemed intrigued, while others were skeptical. Serafina's gaze never left him, sharp and assessing. "You speak with confidence," she said. "Yet confidence alone does not prove safety. Humans are known to be reckless. They are capable of great harm as well as great good. Why should we believe you will not bring danger to our people?" Elias considered carefully. "Because humans are also capable of courage, of compassion, and of learning. We adapt. We solve problems. And above all, we understand the value of life. Not just our own, but the lives of others. I am willing to prove this to you if you give me the chance." The Queen's expression softened, just slightly, though her eyes remained wary. "Words are tested by deeds, Elias." The morning sun cast long rays over the crystal forest of Luminara, making the entire planet shimmer as if it were alive. Elias stood at the edge of a floating platform that overlooked a vast expanse of glowing trees and rivers of liquid light. The Queen Serafina appeared beside him, her presence commanding and regal. "Today, human, you will prove yourself," she said, her golden eyes fixed on him. "There is a threat approaching Luminara. A rogue asteroid has entered our system. It is small by cosmic standards, but large enough to cause devastation if it strikes the crystal forests or the city." Elias's stomach tightened. He had trained for emergencies in space, but nothing prepared him for saving an entire alien civilization. "How can I help?" he asked, his voice steady despite the fear. Serafina gestured toward a network of alien devices embedded in the crystal forest. "We have technology to divert objects in space, but our systems are designed for coordinated action by many minds and one human alone. You will need to improvise. I will watch, but you must act quickly." Elias nodded. He stepped onto the UI nearest control panel, feeling the hum of alien energy beneath his hands. The device pulsed in response to his touch, as if testing his intentions. He realized quickly that it required more than technical knowledge. It required understanding, intuition, and patience. As he analyzed the controls, the asteroid appeared on the holographic display, a jagged rock tumbling through space, moving faster than he anticipated. "We need to calculate trajectory, force, and angle," Elias muttered. His fingers danced over the alien interface, adapting human logic to an alien system. "Be careful, human," Serafina warned. "One mistake and the defenses will trigger. The crystal forests will respond. And not gently." Elias's heart raced. He focused on the task, remembering the lessons humans had learned over millennia: observation, adaptation, and problem-solving. He adjusted the energy beams, calculated the angles of redirection, and used the flowing patterns of the crystal network to predict how it would react. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. The asteroid's path wavered dangerously close to the planet's surface. Elias's mind worked tirelessly, merging human intuition with alien technology. A sudden spike in the system made the energy pulses fluctuate, threatening to overload. The crystals. He froze for a moment, taking a deep breath. "Humans don't give up," he whispered. With careful precision, he redirected the pulses, guiding the asteroid away from the city and toward open space. The crystals hummed in response, aligning perfectly as if recognizing his intent. Below, the alien council and Serafina watched in tense silence. The asteroid's trajectory changed. It moved away from Luminara, sparking faint glowing streaks. As it passed safely through the atmosphere without causing harm, Serafina's eyes widened slightly, her expression unreadable for a moment. Then she exhaled softly. "You have done it," she said. Her voice carried a mixture of surprise and admiration. "You have succeeded where many of my people would have struggled. Humans, you are remarkable." Elias relaxed, letting a small smile cross his face. "Thank you, Your Highness, I only did what I could." The Queen studied him more closely. "Your courage is clear, but courage alone is not enough. You understand our technology, yet you also understand restraint and patience. That is why you have passed this test of trust. But know this, Luminara will always challenge you. This planet judges all who enter." As the day progressed, Elias worked alongside alien engineers, observing their methods and learning the language of their energy systems. He marveled at the complexity and elegance of Luminara's design. Every crystal, every pulse seemed alive, with intelligence. And yet he realized that humans too had qualities that no alien system could replicate: ingenuity, empathy, and the ability to adapt in moments of crisis. By evening, the asteroid threat had passed, and the city of Luminara glowed with renewed light. Citizens, both humanoid and crystalline, moved safely through the streets, unaware of the disaster that had nearly occurred. Elias felt a quiet sense of pride. Humanity had arrived not as conquerors, but as allies. Serafina appeared beside him again as they walked through the crystal gardens. The air shimmered with soft light, and the energy of the planet seemed calm. "Today you have proven yourself," she said. "Yet, there is more to trust than actions alone. You must also show understanding, empathy, and respect for life. Qualities humans are known for, but which must be proven." Elias nodded. "I understand. I will do my best." The Queen regarded him silently, her expression unreadable. Then she spoke, her voice softer. "You have a spark, human. A spark I have rarely seen in other species. It frightens me and intrigues me." For the first time, Elias saw a hint of vulnerability in the Queen's golden eyes. He realized that her anger was not just caution, it was responsibility. She carried the weight of an entire civilization on her shoulders, and every decision mattered. "You are not like other humans," she said finally. "Most would have panicked. Most would have failed. Yet you adapted. You respected the planet, the technology, and its people. That is why you live." Elias felt a rush of emotion. Pride, yes, but also a deep respect for this alien world and its ruler. Humanity had crossed the stars and survived not by force, but by courage, respect, and adaptability. As night fell, the twin moons of Luminara rose in the sky, casting gentle light across the crystal forests. Elias stood on a balcony, looking out at the world he had just helped save. He felt small in the vastness of the universe, yet significant in the impact he had made. Serafina joined him, her expression softer than before. "Tomorrow will bring new challenges," she said, "but tonight, you have earned a moment of recognition." Elias smiled. "Thank you, Your Highness. I am grateful for the opportunity." The Queen studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Remember this feeling, human. Courage, respect, and adaptability are your strengths. But never forget, Luminara watches all who enter. One day your choices will matter even more." Alone later that night, Elias reflected on the events of the day. He realized that humans were small, fragile, and often underestimated, but that same fragility carried the capacity for incredible courage and creativity. And as he looked up at the stars above Luminara, he felt a growing connection to this alien world, its people, and its remarkable queen. Somewhere deep in the palace, Serafina watched the glowing city, her thoughts a mixture of caution, curiosity, and something unfamiliar: fascination. This human, small and fragile as he was, had shown her qualities that even her species rarely displayed. And that spark might change everything. The twin suns of Luminara rose again, bathing the palace in golden light. The crystal, Towers sparkled like living gems, and the rivers of liquid light shimmered as if singing to the morning. Elias awoke with a renewed sense of purpose. He had passed the Queen's test, but he knew that his journey was far from over. When he stepped into the palace hall, Serafina was already waiting. She stood near a window that overlooked the vast crystal forests, her golden eyes reflecting the light of the world she ruled. Her expression was calm, but Elias sensed a storm of thoughts hidden beneath her composed face. "Good morning, human," she said, her voice softer than the day before. "You showed bravery yesterday and you earned my attention. But bravery is only one part of trust. Today, you will face something greater." Elias bowed his head respectfully. "I am ready, Your Highness." The Queen turned toward him, her long robe shimmering like flowing starlight. "Come. There is something you must see." They walked together through the palace corridors, guarded yet quiet. The halls glowed with a gentle light, as though the planet itself was alive and watching. Finally, they reached the outer gardens. Here the air was fresh, filled with the soft hum of energy from the crystal trees. Flowers of glowing petals swayed as if greeting them. In the center of the garden stood an ancient device, taller than Elias, covered with glowing runes. It pulsed faintly, like a sleeping heart. "This," Serafina said, gesturing to the device, "is the heart of Luminara. It is one of the oldest crystals on this planet, and it connects to the living energy of the world itself. It is powerful and dangerous. Only those with pure intent may touch it." Elias frowned, studying the runes. "And you want me to try?" "Yes," Serafina replied firmly. "The heart will test you. It will see your truth. If it finds you unworthy, it will reject you. If you are worthy, it may accept you." Elias felt a tremor of nerves. He had faced asteroids and alien councils, but this was something different. This was not a battle of logic or skill. It was a test of his spirit. Still, he stepped forward. "I'll do it." The Queen watched silently as he placed his hand against the glowing surface. At once, a surge of energy rushed through him. His mind filled with visions, his childhood on Earth, his training as an explorer, the faces of people he had loved and lost. He felt both small and infinite, fragile, yet strong. Then the visions shifted. He saw humanity's flaws, wars, mistakes, and pain. But he also saw humanity's strengths, hope, kindness, and the will to keep moving forward no matter the cost. The crystal pulsed brighter, responding to his thoughts. Elias whispered softly, "I am human. We are not perfect, but we try, we learn, and we care. That is who we are." The heart of Luminara glowed intensely, then softened, sending out a gentle wave of light. The energy filled the garden, making every flower blow. The twin moons of Luminara hung high above the palace, casting silver light over the crystal towers. The city below shimmered like a living jewel, alive with quiet energy. Elias stood on a balcony, his thoughts restless. Each day in this world brought new trials, and yet he felt himself changing. He no longer saw himself as only a visitor. He was becoming part of something greater. The sound of soft footsteps broke his thoughts. Queen Serafina approached, her robe glowing faintly under the moonlight. She stood beside him, her golden eyes gazing out at the horizon. For a moment, neither spoke. The silence between them was no longer heavy with suspicion, but light with unspoken understanding. "You have surprised me, human," Serafina said finally, her voice carrying both strength and softness. "When you first arrived, I thought of you as a trespasser, an intruder who might bring danger to my people. But now," she paused as though choosing her words carefully, "now, I see something different." Elias turned toward her, his voice calm. "And what do you see, Your Highness?" She studied him for a long moment, then said, "I see courage and honesty. I see a heart that values life. I see a friend." The word lingered in the air, simple but powerful. Elias felt warmth spread through him. A queen who had once spoken only in suspicion now called him a friend. That single word meant more than he could have imagined. "I'm honored," he said softly. "I never wanted to be your enemy. Only your ally." Serafina inclined her head. "Perhaps that is what you have become." The following day the council gathered once more. The vast chamber glowed with crystal light, and the guardians of Luminara fixed their many eyes upon Elias. Their voices echoed with doubt and warning. "Humans are unpredictable," one counselor said. "They seek knowledge but bring danger." "They act without wisdom," another added. "This human is no different." Elias listened quietly, his heart steady. When it was his turn, he stepped forward. "You speak the truth," he said. "Humans are not perfect. We make mistakes. But we also learn from them. We grow stronger with each failure. That is what makes us different. We never stop trying." His words carried through the chamber, simple but sincere. The counselors murmured among themselves, some doubtful, some impressed. Serafina raised her hand, silencing the hall. "Enough," she said, her voice firm. "I have watched this human closely. He has faced danger, shown respect for our world, and touched the heart of Luminara itself. He is no ordinary outsider. He is proof that humanity carries a spark worth protecting." The chamber grew silent. No one dared to challenge the queen's words. After the council dispersed, Elias and Serafina walked together in the palace gardens. The air was filled with the fragrance of glowing flowers, and the rivers of liquid light flowed gently beside them. "You spoke boldly today," Serafina said, and the council listened. "That is not easy, even for one of my own people." Elias shrugged lightly. "Sometimes the truth is enough. I didn't need to convince them I was perfect. I only needed to show them that I cared." The queen gave him a long look. Her expression softened, and for the first time since his arrival, her eyes no longer held a barrier between ruler and guest. Instead, they held warmth. "Elias," she said quietly, "you remind me of something I had forgotten. Long ago, my people dreamed of unity, of reaching beyond our borders, but centuries of fear closed our hearts. You bring that dream back." Elias felt his chest tighten at her words. He looked at her, seeing not just a queen, but a leader burdened by duty and loneliness. "Then let's keep that dream alive, together." For a moment the queen said nothing. Then, without warning, she stepped closer. Her hands, glowing faintly with the energy of her world, rested on his shoulders. Her eyes locked with his. "When you first came, I was angry," she said, her voice almost trembling with honesty. "I saw you as a threat. I wanted nothing more than to cast you away. But now—" She exhaled softly, and her arms moved around him in a gesture both alien and deeply familiar. She embraced him. Elias froze for a heartbeat, surprised by the warmth of the moment. The queen, proud and powerful, was holding him as though she never wanted to let go. Her strength was gentle, her presence overwhelming. "You are no longer just a stranger to me," she whispered. "You are part of something greater now. You are part of Luminara's future." Elias closed his eyes, feeling the truth of her words. In that embrace, he understood that this was more than diplomacy. This was connection, a bond between two worlds, built not on power, but on trust and hope. When they finally stepped back, Serafina's eyes shone brighter than the stars above. "There is still much to face," she said. "Greater challenges than asteroids or doubts, forces beyond. This system threatens us both. If we are to survive, we must stand together." Elias nodded firmly. "Then I'll stand with you, whatever comes." That night the palace was alive with quiet celebration. The people of Luminara lit their crystal towers in honor of the Queen's declaration, an unspoken acceptance of the human among them. Elias stood at the observatory later, looking out at the stars. For the first time he did not feel like an outsider staring into the vast unknown. He felt as though he belonged, not only to Earth, but now also to this luminous world. And somewhere beside him, Serafina stood in silence, her golden eyes fixed on the same stars. Her anger was gone, replaced with trust, warmth, and a bond she never thought possible. In that moment, under the starlit sky, human and alien stood together, not as enemies, not as strangers, but as allies bound by something stronger than fear, bound by a connection that could one day change the galaxy. The stars stretched across the black sky like endless lanterns, shining with both promise and warning. Elias stood in the great observatory of the Luminara Palace, his eyes tracing the map of distant systems projected before him. The Queen's words from the night before still echoed in his mind. Forces beyond this system threaten us both. If we are to survive, we must stand together. Queen Serafina entered quietly, her presence filling the room with calm authority. She looked at the star map, and then at Elias. "The Council has agreed," she said. "Luminara will not turn away, but they are afraid. The threat we face is older and darker than even I had imagined." Elias nodded. "Tell me." She gestured, and the projection shifted. A cluster of red lights appeared on the map, spreading like fire across the galaxy. "The Dravakar," she said, her voice low. "A nomadic empire of conquest. They consume planets, strip them of life, and move on. Until now they have stayed far from our system, but scouts have seen their ships moving closer. They will come, and when they do, they will not stop." Elias studied the red lights. His heart tightened. He knew humans had faced wars, but nothing on this scale. Still, something inside him burned brighter than fear. "Then we have to prepare. Together." The Queen turned her golden eyes toward him. "You are only one man, Elias. Why do you speak as though you can change the course of empires?" Elias gave a small smile. "Because that's what humans do. We're small, fragile, but we fight for what we believe in. Sometimes even one voice can change everything." Serafina looked at him for a long moment, then slowly nodded. "Perhaps that is why fate brought you here." The days that followed were filled with action. Elias worked with Luminara's engineers, learning about their crystal-powered ships and their luminous shields. His human perspective often surprised them. Where they thought in patterns of tradition, he offered ideas born from Earth's history, of survival. "Why build heavier shields on only one side?" he asked during a meeting. "Spread the strength evenly. Humans learned long ago that weak points invite disaster." The engineers exchanged curious looks, then began sketching new designs. With every discussion, Elias grew closer not only to Serafina, but also to her people. They began to see him not as an intruder, but as a bridge, a connection to a new way of thinking. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Elias and Serafina walked through the palace gardens again. The rivers of light flowed beside them, reflecting the stars above. "You work tirelessly," Serafina said softly. "Do you not long for your own world? For Earth?" Elias was quiet for a moment. "Of course. I miss my people, my home. But here I feel something I never expected. I feel needed, and maybe this is where I'm meant to be." Serafina stopped, studying him with quiet intensity. "You would stay, even when danger comes?" He met her gaze steadily. "Yes. I'll face it with you." Something changed in her eyes then. Something gentle. Something unspoken. She did not answer with words, but the silence between them carried more weight than any promise. The threat came sooner than expected. Weeks later, alarms echoed through Luminara's towers. Scouts had spotted the first Dravakar ships at the edge of the system. The people panicked, their crystal lights flickering across the city as voices filled the air. In the council chamber, tension was high. Some demanded retreat. Others wanted to hide their cities deep within the planet's luminous caves. Elias stood firm. "Hiding won't save you," he said. "On Earth, we learned that running from danger only delays it. The Dravakar will keep coming until they believe you are strong enough to resist." The council turned to the Queen. Serafina rose, her presence commanding silence. "Then we will not run. We will stand." With the human by our side, we will show them that Luminara does not bow. Her words carried through the chamber like fire, igniting courage in every heart. When the